In this video, traders, I want to address what I think is a common misconception, that scalpers are impatient. Stick around. Hey traders, warm welcome to you. Thank you so much for joining me. All right, so you can scalp and still be patient is the title of this video. And I think there's a common misconception, right? That scalpers are active, because they are active. That's the definition of scalping. You're taking these small trades and kind of getting out, coming back in, getting out, and you might have some activity. But that doesn't mean you're impatient. Let me explain what I mean. So if you consider scalping is you are trying to capture a very small edge, right? The job with scalping is that you're trying to, under certain conditions, capture these small edges. You know, scalpers I don't know, well, I've got to be careful what I say here because of course there's going to be someone out there I don't know, but in my experience, good scalpers aren't sitting there trading and scalping all day long. They just haven't got the focus for it. They recognize they haven't got the cognitive ability, the mental capacity, all that type of stuff. And so they're very, very focused. And what they focus on, they're focused on the opportunity and the areas where they believe they have edge. And so the patience comes in for being able to be very, very aggressive and very, very active in a certain point in time in the chart, and then backing off and waiting for the next level. So what do I mean? So imagine that you've got this chart here. As a scalper, you are only probably going to be interested in various different things. You might be interested in key levels. Okay, so imagine this is a key level. So as the price comes down to this, you might be scalping little extensions away. You might be catching little flurries towards it. Maybe you're catching kind of little exhaustion moves. You're probably scalping pretty actively around this block. And then maybe it goes up here and you're kind of, okay, I'm not that interested, but I still like to trade little mini flushes in the direction of the trend. So you might kind of scalp this bit here. You know, you might scalp this bit here on the short side. And so, yes, you're active, but you're not getting involved in this because maybe that's not for you, but maybe it is for you. The point is it might be for you as well. You might say, okay, actually I do like to trade momentum, but you're not going to do all of these things. You're going to be very specific about what you trade. And you say, okay, I like to trade off the key level. I like to kind of sell exhaustion flushes. I'm going to get very, very active there. And so then you go again and say, okay, this is not interested. I'm not interested here, but I do like to trade these little kind of flushes down against the trend. I'll scalp this out here, I'll scalp this out here. So this is not getting involved in everything. This is having the patience to wait for your setup and your strategy. And let's imagine your strategy is trading little flushes. You like to trade against the flushes. So the price is kind of going lower, lower. You see that little flush, you like to try and buy there as best you can and then sell it here. And this is the trade you're kind of taking, right? And you say, hey, I trade those when we're at a key level and we're kind of going through the key level. Maybe you just trade that. I also trade those when we kind of have this bull flag and we dip to the downside. I like to take that little chunk. So you're very clear about what you're looking for, and maybe you have 4 or 5 trades around that, because that might be, you know, 1 minute chart, but in reality it might be doing this, you know, over 10 seconds and then go, and you might be able to get 4 or 5 little scalps from it. Same with this down here, it might oscillate around that level for quite a while before it goes higher. So the point is that you still have a suite of strategies that you are deploying into the market. Be patient and waiting for when those setups occur. You're not diving in and trying to scalp everything because you're just eroding the small edge you've got. If you're there, and also don't forget, not only from a perspective of eroding the small edge you've got, from a perspective of just completely draining your brain and the cognitive load that's required to be constantly there, watching every tick, you're just not going to have the capacity for it. So you need to deploy that mental capital when there's energy. So being patient is true and has to be a skill you develop when you're scalping, when you're day trading, when you're swing trading, even investing. Right? Some of the best investors in the world say, hey, I'm just patient for a sector that I like, at a price that I like, a business that I like. And Warren Buffett says exactly those type of things. And so no matter what you're doing, however you're speculating the market, patience is key. And this myth of scalpers, you know, patience doesn't apply for scalpers, they just scalp all day long. I think if you do that, you will be disappointed with your results. I think you will have improvement to your results in a much more pleasing, shall we say, equity curve. If you're patient, you're very clear about what you're trading, the type of scalps you're trading, and where those occur, and then being ready for those. So you may well be sitting in front of the screen, but it doesn't mean you're necessarily sitting there like, oh God, watching every tick. You're like, hey, if we get above the highs, I'll take that flush there. You've got an idea of where you're going to get involved. And that still might end up being 30, 40 trades a day, but it's a very focused trade. It's in a very focused area, very focused setup, very focused approach. And that requires you being patient. Take care, see you in the next one. Get your risk managed. Bye-bye.